Welcome, everyone, to session number 3 of our Perfect Week of Yoga for an at-home retreat for mental health. Maybe you do each of these sessions once a day. Maybe you do it all in one day. You choose your own adventure. Speaking of adventures, today is going to be a little bit of an adventure, or at least this session is. It's a little journey through the chakras. So what we'll do is we have a little warm-up flow to warm up each of our chakras, and then we have our central flow to really get it going, and then we'll have a closing flow. And each one in order is trying to meet all the needs of our chakras to cleanse, to balance, and then to find a way to be comfortable in our own skin. So we'll begin. I have some of my props here. I have belts, I have blankets. I have all the things necessary handy just in case, but blocks are really important. So if you have those nearby, great. Otherwise, meet me on the mat. We're going to get started here in just a second. And we're actually going to start. I'm going to move my pillow aside. We're going to start in Thunderbolt. So with Thunderbolt, you're on your knees and you're sitting back on your heels. And I have my pillows here because for some people, it might be a little bit uncomfortable. So maybe we want to use a pillow here or a blanket under the knees. So take a second to find something really comfortable because we'll be here for a few breaths. So you want to be comfortable in this. Now, of course, if you need to, you can always sit on a block, or if your knees are not going to let you do this, and of course, listen to your body. If your knees aren't going to let you do this, just go into an easy seat. Totally fine. You can find the same result. So we'll begin by focusing on our root chakras. We'll just get warmed up here in just a nice, comfortable seat. Taking a few deep breaths to arrive. And focusing on the root chakra. So we're really focusing on our sit bones and everything in that general area. Rooting down, pushing into the earth and feeling the earth connecting to the root as well. You can find your way, palms up, receiving the gifts of the universe, or palms down for some grounding, which since we're working on our root chakra, that might be the way to go, but you choose. We'll take 3 to 5 breaths on your own, with each inhale feeling the crown of the head lightening. Feel it like a balloon rising up. With each of our exhales, feel the earth and your sit bones connect, round, center. Breathing on your own at your own pace, just feeling the body. Beginning to really connect with our practice for today. Maybe before we move on, maybe go back to those intentions that you wrote. Are there any intentions that you could bring into the practice for right now? And on your next exhale, really feeling those roots connecting to the earth, we'll move on to our sacral chakra, moving up the body. I'm going to move my pillow out to the side. I'll probably use it again. And I'm just going to come into a nice easy seat. So if you're already in the easy seat, great. Now maybe you want to have this pillow under your hips, or maybe not. I'm just giving you options here. We're slowly warming up, but we're going to work on our sacral chakra by doing a little forward fold from our easy seat. So inhaling here, opening up the chest, the throat, and exhale, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Now this is where the blocks can come in handy. Maybe we're not feeling really flexible yet. So a block here for our forearms could be excellent. I'll bring my forearms to press into the block, just a little way in front of me, whatever's comfortable, keeping my neck stretched out, keeping my spine strong. Or maybe I feel like I can go a little bit further. I'm going to Come down here, forehead to the block. Or maybe I'm just really not feeling the block at all. Connecting that sits bone into the earth, forehead down. Just take a few breaths here. We're slowly waking up our chakras and waking up our bodies. And on your next exhale, slowly coming up, moving blocks out of the way if you're using blocks. Coming all the way up to a seated position. I'm going to move my pillow out to the side. We're going to move on to our solar plexus. I'm going to roll into a neutral tabletop. And that's always hands under wrists, knees under the hips. But remember that we're pressing through palm and fingers, but we're also pressing through tops of feet and the knees. We're going to get to a cat cow in just a minute, but maybe you want to wiggle side to side just to wake up the lower back. We come into a supported side plank. So I'm going to put my weight on my left hand, and my left foot is going to move to the side. Stretch my right leg out, pressing through palm and fingers, inhaling right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Pulling that belly button in, making sure we're not collapsing into that shoulder. Shoulders nice and strong. Using your skeleton to support you. Now you can stay right here or come into our side plank with feet stacked or staggered. You choose. Pulling this hip up so we're not drooping down. Belly button is active. Chest is open. Fingers reaching. When we reach, we're reaching. We're sending energy out the fingers and we're pressing through the mat. If you need to come back down to supported, you can. We'll inhale here and exhale, turning into a full plank. And again, if you need supported plank, supported plank. Okay, really thinking about our core here, pulling that belly button in, sending energy out the heels. Active here, breathe in. This is your solar plexus. We're waking up. Inhale and exhale, slowly lower down, all the way down. Flip the tops of the feet. We're going to come into a cobra. Cobra is for our heart. Pressing palms and fingers by the shoulders, pressing through the tops of the feet and the thighs. Inhale the spine away from our hips and exhale. Little baby micro bend here. Be very gentle with your lower back. We're just getting started. And exhale. Coming back into our hands and knees. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now, the theory is since this is session 3, you've, in theory, done some warm up here. So if you need to go a little more gently, if you haven't done a warm up, please go slowly. All right, so I'm going to take my right foot out to the side, send my left leg long, pressing through my palm and my fingers, inhaling my left fingertips up to the top of the ceiling. And again, we're activating our core, and that just means we're using the lower back, we're using our bellies, we're using the hip flexors, we're using all of this. But we're focusing on our solar plexus. So if you'd like, you can stay there or come into a side plank. Really sending the energy out the fingers, really pressing the palm into the mat, waking up that core, and exhale. Come back into our full plank. And again, send the energy down the heels, pull that belly up so our butts aren't up, but our butts aren't low either. Try to get that nice plane, I suppose. Head is reaching out and exhale, lower down. We'll come back into another cobra. So flipping my feet, pressing through the feet, pressing through the tops of the thighs, pressing through my palms and fingers. Inhale that spine out and exhale into a baby back bend. Listen to your body, what you need right now, but focus on your heart chakra opening, spreading open, and exhale, coming back. Take a nice deep breath. Now from here, we're going to go into a down dog. So curling my toes in through my fingers and sending the hips all the way up into a nice dog. It's our first down dog. So if you want to pedal the feet out, Your head, shoulders, really pressing through the fingers into the tops of the shoulders, sending those hips high as feels comfortable. Okay, so now we're working on our third eye here in our down dog. We're going to do our down dog twice. Take one more deep breath here. Exhale, coming back down into our neutral. We'll go into our cat cows. Okay, so cat cow, we're really opening the throat. So throat chakra, waking up. Now all these postures work double duty for a lot of the chakras, but let's just focus on when we drop the belly, bring that chin up. We're opening up that throat. And then on the exhale, carving space with that chin, pulling that belly button in. So keep going a few times here and just really focusing on that throat chakra opening. Excellent. And then we'll go back into our down dog. Okay, so curling the toes, bending the hips up high. Maybe this time we find silence and quiet. If you still need to pedal out, you can. But maybe that's our goal, is to find a little bit of quiet here. Thinking about our third eye, feeling the pressure from the blood, changing its course in our inversion here. Take one more deep breath here and exhale, coming back down, knees down to the mat. We're going to come into rabbit posture. So of course, that's for our crown chakra. So I'm going to curl my top of my head down, and maybe you need a pillow here. Maybe you need to be a little bit further away. Maybe you need whatever you need. But if you can get your crown chakra, your top of your head close to your knees, and then send your fingers back reaching toward the heels. After you've spent a moment here, maybe you can move back a little bit. Just feel the arms. You're just starting to grab your heels, or maybe you can get closer and you can really grab the heels. And when you do that, if you're able to, you may feel the shoulder blades pulling apart, not in a bad way. It sounds terrible. But stretching out away. And that's where a lot of our trauma is held, is in our hips and our shoulders, many other places too. This is one way to release trauma or tension or fear. Take one more deep breath in rabbit, slowly inhaling. And on the exhale, slowly coming out. Okay, so hopefully we're feeling really good. I'm going to press through into a nice down dog here. We're going to come into warrior one. So, well, down dog first. So hips are high, head is low. Weight on the left foot. Inhale the right leg up, nice and strong, and just hold it here for a moment. And then exhale, bending that right knee. Knit through the midline, right foot by right thigh. Thumb, not thigh. We're going to come up into a warrior one. Okay, so when we do inhale, activating the legs, reaching the arms up, shifting that back foot. Heart is open, but we're rooting in. So take a moment here to really feel your weight pressing in your feet and your weight going down our spine into the earth, rooting. Inhale, and on the exhale, shifting into warrior two. Again, rooting. So feel the pull either direction. Check your front knee. Pinkies pulling back to open up that heart chakra as well. And on the exhale, we'll step left foot next to the right. We're going to come into a chair posture. So from here to chair, inhale and exhale, sitting back, our sacral chakra. Reaching up, opening up that heart space, activating. Inhale a little bit more up and exhale, keeping the legs. Exhale, torso to the tops of thighs. Inhale, coming back up. Holding here for a moment. And exhale. I'm going to windmill my arms back, just stretch out the arms a little bit, standing up. And we're going to step back into a high lunge, a crescent lunge, I should say. So sliding my left foot back. Now, instead of it being warrior one, we're in crescent, reaching those arms up, fingers interlaced, point your fingers pressed together, and inhale, pointing to the top of the ceiling. I keep saying top of the ceiling. You know what I mean. Pointing up to the ceiling. Baby back bend here. And exhale. We're going to go into a Lord of the Dance. So I'm going to take all of my weight, press that weight onto my right foot, right? Come up to standing. And you can go right into the Lord of the Dance or join me here. Bring my left knee up, capture it, press knee into fingers, fingers into knee. And then allow that foot to come behind. So left foot is held by my left hand. And maybe this is what you want here. Pull that belly button in, spine nice and tall. And if you can, take your foot into your hand and reach out. I'm running out of space here, and then reaching out, finding your drishti, keeping that balance. Inhale and exhale. Bring the feet together. Spine long, leading with the heart space here, hinging at the hips, forward fold. And just allow it to come all the way down. Okay. Let your head release, let your shoulders release. Press your hands into the mat. I'm going to step back into a down dog. And we'll do the same thing again on the other side. So weight goes onto the right foot. Inhale the left leg up. Keep your hips balanced. Keep your left leg strong and your right leg strong. Inhale. Exhale, bending the left knee. Squeezing the left knee through the midline. Place left foot by left thumb. I said it right this time. Okay, we'll come up into that warrior one. So pressing through the feet to root down. So we're rooting here. Activate the legs. Inhale, arms up. Switching my back foot so that now I'm in warrior one. Arms are reaching up, right? Really feel your tailbone reaching toward the earth. Energy is sending down there. The feet are really active. Inhale and exhale. Shift the weight. So hips open. Keep the knee over the foot. Reaching those arms out. Pulling them back a little bit. Warrior two. You're still rooting here. Okay, from here, remember, sacral chakra next. So I'm going to stand my feet up together and we're going to go into that chair posture. Still rooting through, but inhale, sending the hips back, opening up those arms, and you're sending that energy down the spine, right? Inhale, exhale, sit back a little bit more, and we'll do the same thing, torso bending. So inhale, exhale, torso to the top of the thighs, reaching the arms back. Exhale, arms come back up. And this time we'll stand up, arms come together here. Windmill back. Now we're in the forward. Okay, so from here, I'm going to step my right foot back and we're going to go into that crescent lunge. Stepping back, crescent lunge. Arms together, solar plexus. So really pulling in here. So your hips are stacked here. I had them open, a little too much open, didn't I? So we're going to stack our hips, really activating that core. Arms up, interlace the fingers, point your fingers pressed together, and then point the pointer fingers toward the ceiling. Look at that, I did it, guys. I said it. Okay, point your finger toward the ceiling, micro back bend. The back bend begins with activating that core. So lower back and your belly are active. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands, where are we? Oh, so we're going to bring that hands not to the mat. Sorry, I forgot where I was and who I was. We're going to put all the weight onto our left foot. We're going to come into that Lord of the Dance. So my weight is on the left foot. And you can go right into Lord of the Dance if you'd like. or bring that right knee up. Do some circles, press the knee into the hands into the knee, opening up that shoulder. And then let the right foot come back into our little, briefly into flamingo. And then if you're ready, you could stay right here if you need to, but if you're ready, taking your foot into your hand, reaching the left fingers out, keeping that heart open. This is for your heart chakra. Let the light from your heart shine out like a light. Take one more deep breath here, inhaling and exhale. Release, feet together, hinging at the hips, letting the heart space, again, lead out, going to a forward fold, just like what we did before. Deep breath here. So from this space, we're going to slowly lower down into a seat, and then we're going to roll into a plow posture. If you don't feel really good in plow, you could stay in a wind relieving pose or just in a shoulder stand. But we're going to try to make it. Okay, you ready? Okay, so this is for your throat chakra. So I'm going to slowly, maybe my hands are on my feet, or they're on the sides, or they're on a block, and I'm going to let my hips slowly, as you can, come down to the floor. If this is not in your practice today, you can always just come and join me here. From this, we're going to roll back 2 or 3 times if that feels good on your spine. I like to hold on to either my shins or behind my legs, and I just roll. And I'm going to do this a couple times. For me, it feels good, but listen to your body if it doesn't feel good. Now, on my next roll, I'm going to send my legs back, but this is where you could just do a little wind relieving, hug the knees in if that doesn't feel good. Okay, so sending my knees back, pressing into my forearms and my hands. Let the feet slowly work their way behind you. And maybe it'll take a minute. Maybe you even have to come back and roll a couple times to allow the feet to fall behind you. One trick is, if you can't quite reach it, putting a block underneath where the toes are so that you can still get it to the weight over the head. Now, this is the throat chakra, but I really want to be careful of the neck here. So I'm pressing through my arms, and I am using my feet, but I'm also making sure that there's space for my neck to breathe. Don't crunch the neck. Be very, very careful. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to switch now. Inhale, exhale. We're going to roll a couple times again. So just like what we did before. All right, so I personally really like the rolling. So you're going to see me use this a lot and now come up to seated. But if you don't like the rolling, don't do it. Okay, so let's work on, we're going to do a little head to knee pose. So now that I'm seated, I'm going to bring the right foot on the inside of the left thigh. And I'm going to reach out, maybe first just left hand toward the toes. Let's see where we're at. So inhaling and exhaling. This is going to be working. We're going to work our third eye toward our shins. You might be there, you might not be. You can use blocks on either side. So you can take your blocks, and if this helps, you could do that. Or maybe you're holding on to those left toes with the left hand. Maybe you can reach the right hand over and try to keep your spine tall. And third eye is reaching toward the shin. It doesn't have to meet. Maybe it does, but it does not have to. Okay, take one more breath here. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly coming up, and we'll switch our legs. So now that I have left foot by right thigh, right toes are active. Don't let them fall to one side or the other. And I'm going to start by just grabbing my right toes with my right fingers. Again, you could be using the blocks on either side. So it's okay if you're using the blocks here. Use those support. I would rather that you use blocks so that you can get kind of into a deeper, more supported pose. All right. And again, the third eye reaches toward the shin, but probably will not need it. And that's okay. And on your next exhale, release. We're going to come into a cane posture. So we're going to put it kind of all together there. Okay. So now I want us to focus on our roots. So again, sits bones, really connecting into the earth, back to the thighs, the calves, the heels, reaching toward the earth, connecting to the earth, rooting down. Stay here for a moment. Same thing, maybe 2 breaths, maybe 3. Inhale the spine tall, the crown of the head pulls away. Exhale the heels, the calves, the hips, everything roots into the earth. Inhale those arms up overhead, reaching, and exhale. Hinge at the hips, back is nice and tall. Maybe we just end up at the shins. But with each inhale, the spine is longer. With each exhale, a micro bend closer. But really focus on feeling yourself rooting into the earth. If you can grab your toes, see if you can pull those elbows toward the shins while keeping your back nice and straight. It's all a different journey. This whole session is a big journey too. Inhale and exhale, release. Take it out. Let's come into a Baddha Konasana. Okay, so for our sacral chakra, bringing the feet in. Again, feet could be out in front of you. Maybe they're really close. Maybe you need a block underneath of the knees. So let's say we can't get very close. Put those blocks under your knees for some support. Maybe you're holding onto your shins then to keep your back nice and straight. This actually feels really good, just having the support under the knees. That's kind of the point. Or maybe you feel like you don't need the blocks at all. So choose your weapons. All right, so with this, maybe flap the wings a little bit to loosen the hips. But we're working on the sacral chakra now, so kind of just beneath the belly. Holding the toes or holding the shin, keeping the spine nice and tall. Take a few breaths here. And release. We're going to roll back into knees to chest. So even if you've already done this, we'll do it again. This is for our solar plexus. So slowly coming back down, knees come to the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. If it feels good, maybe you want to rock back and forth. Take a nice deep breath and exhale. We'll let our knees fall to one side. I'm going to give you a little option here. So the knees fall to the right, let's say. If you need to, you could put a block between the knees for a little support. Or you could, with the knees together here, I'm going to take my left leg and stretch it out and reach my left hand out. So that's 3 different options. Knees together, block, or stretching the left leg out as you reach the left to the left. Eyes gaze on the left hand. Be gentle with the lower back. If this is feeling like it's straining too much, definitely reel it back in. Blocks will help. Be very gentle. And release, come back into the center, hug those knees, and maybe for a moment, just do a little happy baby before we go to the other side. So pulling the knees in toward the armpits, pulling through the blade of the foot. Rock back and forth if that feels good. And release, bring those knees together. And I'm going to have to move a little bit just so that I don't run out of space. And the knees fall to the other side. Again, knees can be on top, they can be on a block, or you could be reaching that right leg out if that feels good. Right leg to the left, right arm, right hand to the right. Eyes gaze on the palm. And release, coming back into the center, and we'll come up to a seated position. If you want to roll, you can roll. Do whatever feels good. We're going to do a little half lord of the fishes here. So I'm going to bring my right foot, my right heel, I guess, right to my left foot. And I'll bring my left leg over the top of my right leg. Now, if that doesn't feel good, you can always straighten the right leg and bring the left foot in the inside of the thigh or the outside of the thigh. Either case, squeeze that left knee in. We'll do a little gentle twist first. Right hand on the left knee, gentle twist, pulling the belly button in, spine nice and tall. And then if you'd like to, you could bring the right elbow to the outside of that left knee, but make sure you're protecting the lower back. And slowly release, coming out. I'm going to switch to the other side. So I didn't mention this, but we're actually working on our heart chakra with this foot. So now I have my left heel at right buttock, or left leg is straight. Right foot is on the inside of the thigh or the outside. We'll just hug that in, really opening up that heart chakra. Let the heart lead the way. Stay there, or if it feels comfortable, bring left hand to right knee, gentle twist, making sure that the heart chakra is open, shining its light out. And of course, yogi's choice, if you'd like, you can bring the left elbow to the outside of that knee and twist a little bit more. But again, careful. Oh, it feels so good after a long day to get a little extra twist. And release, slowly coming out. We're going to move into a supported fish. The last two postures we have are going to be supported postures. So supported fish has lots of options, but I'm going to take a block and put that block under what they, like at the lower part of the bra line, I suppose. The nipple line. I said it. Sorry, guys. I said it. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to reach my legs out, but you can also, if you have lower back issues, you can keep the feet on the mat. You have the block right underneath you, and you can have a pillow ready to go as well if you need to. So the idea is to open up that throat chakra. So this is the most opening of all of the postures that we've done so far. And maybe you have something under the knees to support. Maybe you have the feet on the mat, or maybe you're reaching the legs out entirely. Bringing the arms as close to the body as possible, maybe even situating the hands under the buttocks. Opening up that heart, opening up that throat. It's really for your throat chakra. You can always do a traditional fish if you'd like to, but I'd like us to stay here for 3 very slow, long breaths. Deeply inhaling here. And on each exhale is a promise that we will be able to speak our truth for what we need when we have an open throat chakra. Breathing it out. And one more. Of course, if you'd like to stay here for a little bit longer, you're welcome to. This is a good supported posture. Don't have to end it here. If you're ready to move in, we'll have one more. I'm just going to tell you about it first before we move out of the posture. We're going to move into a supported child's pose, which we did the other day. So when you are ready, if you are ready, I'm going to bring my feet up. If your legs were stretched out, feet up. And I'm going to roll to one side or the other, being very gentle with the neck. I just roll off of my block. I don't want to jar anything. I don't want to hurt anything. And I'll come up to seated position. Now with our child's pose, you could use a bolster. You could also use just taking a blanket and folding it. Find what feels really good for you here. Okay. And I'm actually going to use my pillow in front, but you could also have a block behind. In either case, find what feels good. My knees are as wide as sticky mat, toes are together, bringing my blanket into my torso. And I'm going to put a block right underneath my heel. And I have my blanket and my pillow. I'm just going to rest my forehead on my hand. Okay, so this is our third eye chakra. And I like this posture, especially, and if you took my class a little while ago, if we're talking about fear, trauma, sometimes go into that freeze impulse where we don't know what to do. And the only thing that we know to do is to curl up in a little ball to protect ourselves. That fetal position and child's pose actually replicates that very similarly. It's comforting, it's supporting, it's protective. And in it, we also are very protected and connected to the earth, protective of and connected to the earth. So finding our way is one of our final postures into our child's pose. Give us an opportunity to embrace the freeze impulse, but to also comfort ourselves and to protect ourselves. Many of the fear that we may have, the anger, anxiety. Maybe return to the intentions that you have set and just repeat them to yourself. Take one more deep breath here, and we're going to transition into a shavasana for a short meditation. However, if you would rather stay in supported child, because it feels pretty darn good, you're welcome to do so. If you'd like to transition out, inhale deeply, and on the exhale, slowly make your way out of our supported child pose and move into our corpse posture, our shavasana. So I'll have my pillow here. I'm actually going to use a blanket under my knees because that sounds good for me today. And I'm going to read something to you while we are getting ourselves comfortable. So finding your way into either stay in your child's pose or making our way into a nice shavasana. I'm going to support my knees here. I'm going to come back and let the pillow support me and begin to relax into this posture, knowing that you are supported by the earth. You're supported by the mat. You're protected here. And we're going to take about 5 slow breaths. And with each breath, I'm going to put in that one of the mental health affirmations I shared with you earlier. So we'll start with our first deep, slow breath. And I'll say the affirmation. Maybe you want to say it to yourself out loud or just in your mind. I am grateful for my life. As you inhale, consider, I see the beauty in everyday, ordinary things. I make a difference. I can do hard things. I am enough. Take a moment to breathe life into those affirmations. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana or Child's Pose, do so. If you'd like to close out class with me, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe bat your eyes open. Give yourself a smile and even a good morning stretch. Roll to one side or the other. Feeling your body and your mind awakening. And when you're ready, slowly supporting yourself, come to a seated position, how we started our class today. If you are closing class with me, let's go ahead and inhale, arms up overhead, taking in all the positive energy that we can. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart, bowing. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your journey. And I can't wait to see you in session 4. See you soon.